been breastfeeding their babies since before the 18th century, and since then it has raised controversy over breastfeeding. There are many different perspectives on breastfeeding, and the two main inherent issues are the health factors of breastfeeding and breastfeeding in public. The most important inherent issue is the health factors. There are both positive and negative health factors. One side believes that there are more positive health factors than there are negative. Not only are there positive health factors on the baby, but there's also positive health factors on the mother as well. According to an article I read, breastfeeding helps to reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes and breast cancer. According to a different article, it also reduces the risk of endometriosis. Breastfeeding is a disease-fighting power. The mother's milk changes depending on the health of the baby. When a baby gets sick, depending on whether the baby has a flu or an ear infection, the milk changes. I don't know if you guys have seen on Facebook or anything like that. There's a picture of the mother's milk when the baby's healthy and it's just like a plain white color. And then when the baby is sick, it turns yellow. So the milk actually physically changes. The other side believes that there are more negative health factors than there are positive. According to Breastfeeding May Expose Infants to Toxic Chemicals, there are chemicals called PFAs that make products resistant to water, grease, and stains. Those are consumed by mothers through different products in the world, which then enter the mother's breast milk. So when the babies consume the breast milk, it makes the baby's blood concentration of these PFAs increase by 20 to 30%. And then this causes vaccines that the babies get to either become less potent or then they fail. The second inherent issue is that it's breastfeeding in public. This is the most disagreed on, whether or not it should be allowed. One side believes that it should be allowed, and according to opinions among U.S. adults regarding breastfeeding choices 2015, 19% of the respondents are uncomfortable when moms breastfeed in public. And this could be because many reasons. One, because they just think it's disgusting to see breasts out in public with babies latching onto them, or because they have their children with them and they don't want their children to see these breasts. According to airports and other public places must provide better options for breastfeeding mothers, 62 of America's 100 airports claim that they are breastfeeding friendly, and 6 of them actually are. And they claim that they are because they say that they have rooms for mothers to breastfeed, but in the article it says that these rooms that they have for these mothers to breastfeed are actually the restrooms, and mothers absolutely hate breastfeeding in restrooms. The other side believes that breastfeeding in public should be allowed. According to the other article, the previous article that I mentioned, 64 of the respondents are for breastfeeding in public, 58% are comfortable when mothers breastfeed in public, and 57% think that buildings should provide rooms for breastfeeding mothers and mothers that pump. According to airports and other public places must provide better options for breastfeeding. There's a customer service rep at an airport that says, quote, lactation rooms are as important as free Wi-Fi, end quote. Those are the two inherent issues and the perspectives on both of them. In conclusion, breastfeeding is a strong controversial topic, and each side argues over whether they are against it or for it, and they argue over the two inherent issues. And the two inherent issues are whether breastfeeding should be allowed in public and the positive and negative health factors. So before the 18th, breastfeeding has been going on since before the 18th century, and it has opened all these health factors and opportunities for women to breastfeed in public.
Right.